Shagan, and I'm a student at University of Advanced Technologies. And this was the idea of a policy that I had for my school. What is one of the problems we have in Arizona especially? Well, what I have noticed is that we have extremely dirty air, and we have several solutions that we could use to help out cleaning the air because of the massive amount of people we have driving on a day-to-day basis, transporting themselves with our public transportation, everything. What is causing the problem is the factor of the excessive amount of vehicles, but also the fossil fuel that is used for it. So if we were to use, if we were able to use anything such as electricity instead of the fossil fuels, we wouldn't have as bad of air pollution as we have. With in some of the bigger cities, such as Phoenix, we could start a government-funded company that'll hire on several drivers that'll use electrical vehicles to transport people to classes or doctor's appointments, anything like that that is necessary or needed. And they could, if they are low-income families or if they are students and they are struggling for funding, they could use it or apply for something along the lines of where we could pay for their rides and take care of them, so that way they aren't being screwed over in less or lack of terms. We could also get it to where we could hire people in the community to run the facilities, drive so it'll help out with not only our environment but our community as well. What do we need to do this? Well, we need locations for charging the vehicles. We also will need drivers. We'll need government funding to help our drivers, to be honest, because a lot of the jobs that we have now for taxi drivers or like Uber and GoPuff, Lyft, stuff like that, they don't have set benefits for drivers. They don't have, most of them don't even have set schedules for the drivers. And their benefits or bonuses, rewards, stuff like that is very limited, very not so much beneficial to the drivers as it should be or could be. We also need facilities to store the vehicles. We would also need the vehicles in general. We would need to hire people to manage the vehicles and also people to manage the drivers. The pros and the cons of the electric vehicles, for the most part, would be they're easier on the environment. That's just the flat-out truth of it. It's going to help our ozone. It's going to help people in our community. They'll be able to breathe better. It won't be so harsh on them. Electricity is cheaper than gasoline, and again, not as harmful to the environment. Maintenance is less frequent and less expensive. Totally truthful. Going back to that electricity thing too, I was stating that we could do, or thought process of going into somewhere in there, you'll see it, is solar paneling. We could get it to where we could solar panel charge the facilities and our cars, which would actually potentially make the entire idea a way cheaper plan, which would help us to fund paying the drivers, managers, stuff like that. They're very quiet. The company itself can get tax credit for the cars that they own. They can shorten the commutes. The cons to them is most electrical vehicles have plenty of or have pretty short ranges, so they would need to recharge frequently, and it does take a while to recharge. They do have ways of making it to where we could recharge them faster. They are a large initial investment. Charging stations availability is inconsistent, and that's the bigger issue too. Like if we could get a starting location, we could spread it out, which would make it easier for people to charge their vehicles. And they don't have very many electrical vehicles, which is a bigger issue too, because if we could get more of them to where we could get buses or cars. They just released a semi-truck recently for electrical vehicles. Like, we could really potentially change the world's entire process on transportation. See, here it is. We could use the solar panels to charge the vehicles and the facilities. Like I was saying, if we could get government funding and secure people's jobs with benefits and good pay, we could help out the environment, speed up the process, and get to what Arizona wants to do, which was the getting electric vehicles fully through Arizona in 2035. We could also evolve our public transportation into a safer and publicly healthier environment and area for not only like the cars, or not only for our state and city, but like it'll help out our planet. And if we could get the government funding like we're hoping, that this would go smoothly and fast and quick. If we can't, then it would be leading down to doing there's apps and stuff that you can do and set up loans and stuff to get it to where we could function it. But if we could get government funding, it'll move faster, whereas if we have to apply for loans, it could take years just to get approvals. And even here, like I showed, that charging stations only take 8 hours to build one, and we could have the policy up and running in a matter of months, where people could run their cars easily. And we also have it to, like, they also have Destination Zero Carbon in Arizona, that they want to try and push the goal for all electrical vehicles to take over Arizona by 2035. This would just be a push start to that. We could run into some issues though, cars not having enough charge while driving people home. Easy solution to that one though is just having another driver come out and swap them out, grab the driver and the client, take client to their destination, and just continue back to warehouse. And we could have the car picked up. Not getting government funding, again, it should be a part of the government's worry though that we have air pollution. It is an issue. Funding it would be only right because of the fact that we need to take care of our earth and our areas, or we're not going to have it. It'll just it will disintegrate. You would see the results dramatically. The air quality is measured. It will help people just be able to breathe. It'll help make people more healthy. And honestly, like, if this idea isn't a good one, I don't know what would be, because we have all of these apps now that give people jobs and functions in transportation. All we would need to do is flip it from, instead of using vehicles that are gas-based, we could swap it out to where they're electrical-based, and you actually are opening up more employment, more funding, more jobs, and it's better for our planet. And then here's our references. I hope you enjoyed it.